Mandla. Viva the South Lake, viva! Viva the South Lake, viva! Uzwethola kanjani? Kele koneni. Wetsala. Wirala. Wetsala. Wirala. Thank you very much. The Deputy President of the ANCYL League, the Secretary General, officials of the ANCYL League, the NEC of the ANCYL League, thank you very much to the most important people, the branch delegates of this NGC. Also very important, comrades, that we acknowledge former leaders of the Youth League. Others were acknowledged already. Yesterday we were joined by also the chair of the West End, who is also the former chair of the Youth League, is now currently the chair of the ANC. Today we have the former RS of Johannesburg, who is the current Deputy Secretary of the ANC in Johannesburg. Thank you very much for all former leaders that came here to be part of this important political school. The SG did a very important thing. A declaration of the second NGC. A declaration of the second NGC is a combination of all the views of young people in South Africa, who most of them participate in branches of the NCYL League. The Youth League is the biggest youth organization in Africa. The NCYL League exists in all corners of this country. We are the only credible organization that can speak on behalf of young people. A day before yesterday, we celebrated our 81st anniversary. Now, we're not a very young organization. We're an old organization with a rich history. And in my political report, those that have managed to scan the QR code, Comrade SG of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Sihle, you can see here people are holding smartphones. Now all they do is just to scan QR codes. Modernization, we're not moving around with big papers all over. We're paperless here in this NGC. And I believe that we're the first paperless NGC. At least that first we can take. That we're the first paperless NGC. And we will influence the ANC to have a paperless NGC in December. Comrades, I've summarized points from what you have influenced and what the SG have said. The first one that I want to speak on, that you always emphasize in my closing remarks. The first one that I want to speak on, that you always emphasize in my closing remarks, declare unemployment a disaster in this country. Unemployment a disaster in this country. Only human being. You can't sleep at night as a leader of a revolutionary organization like the African National Congress. You eat supper with your kids, you eat dinner, you eat lunch, you eat breakfast, you even overeat. Yeah? There are those that are overeating. They are eating more than what they should eat. When majority of South Africans are displaced from their own economic activities. They are not employed, they are not active in business, they are dying of poverty. Number two, it's on the economic transformation. Our economy has remained. Number two, it's on the economic transformation. Our economy has remained every time, and it's the role of the Youth League, every time deliver services to our population, controls 90% of the country's wealth. 10% of few white males control 90% of the country's wealth, and it's business as usual. No one worries 31 years later. Then you ask yourself, why are we at 40%? But Tubarena Abajili vote. They vote for the African National Congress because they believe it will change the economic conditions. And the moment the ANC does not do that, they'll revolt against the African National Congress. There's an important sector, comrades, an important economic sector that we're always leaving out. The organizing of the cultural and creative industry. Those that are busy there, they call it the gig economy. Our artists on a daily basis are exploited and they're not unionized. The ANC Youth League must take charge to fight for the protection of that industry and fight against the exploitation of young artists who in majority are very young and our constituencies. We need to fight against record labels that continue to exploit them, and most of them, after their careers are going down, they end up in poverty. When they die, their kids are left with nothing, even when they produce the biggest hits in this country. We must be their voice and protect them. There is another issue, the AI and digital industry. There is a rise of unregulated platforms like Netflix. Unregulated platforms like Netflix, which run away from tax while destroying jobs in companies like MultiChoice. We must urgently call and demand government to regulate AI and protect our universities and industries from unchecked exploitation. Another point, number 5, that I picked up is the issue of the national security. Comrade SG. South Africa's security is under siege, exposed by threats from Rwanda and everywhere else. We just heard rumors not long ago that M23 was in the country and no one was aware of that. If that is true, then we are naked. Because if rebels can move around in and out of the country and no one does anything, and even the state intelligence is shocked. You know, in this country, even state intelligence can be shocked. shocked. We need to engage the ANC and our government to fight for the protection of the country's security. We must reinforce and build a strong security to protect our people. The issue of crime and violence in this country is huge. Our towns are taken over by criminals, mainly illegal foreigners. Every small town in this country is hijacked by drug lords, illegal foreigners. And our law enforcement agencies are not doing anything about it. If you go to Hillbrow, you go to Durban, South Beach, you will think that you are an illegal foreigner yourself. There are towns like Sunnyside in South Africa where South Africans can't even walk in. Kempton Park next to the airport, it's a harbor of criminals and illegal foreigners. And South Africans, they can't even move from the airport and book in Kempton Park because South Africans are feeling illegal in their own country. It is not sustainable. It's a disaster in waiting. You can't say you are a caring government if you can protect your people and put their interests first. The G20 and the global power shifts. I saw in the media, I hope it's a lie, Comrade Ande Lungisa, that you comrades have sent another delegation in the USA to beg again. In your begging, we were told rumors that you are committing our raw minerals in exchange that tariffs are removed. You are committing a very big crime if it's true. Whoever goes there and says that will be waiting for them at the airport. They must tell us whose minerals are they committing to Americans who have no minerals. We have not sent anyone to the USA to speak on our behalf and commit our minerals. We know and we're clear that through Africa free trade, Africans can be beggars. All the best important minerals to produce, whether it's iPhones, whether it's car batteries, any mineral that you want, whether it's platinum, is here in Africa. Why is Africa a face of poverty when Africa is a blessed nation? If anyone can explain to me why these Europeans come here with their NGOs donating food to us when we should be the ones donating food to them because they have no minerals. We're saying, our African brothers, let's do away with all the leaders who are selling out, who are beggars in Europe and everywhere else. Let's take charge because it's our future. That's why as the Youth League, we're clear and we'll join hands with all African countries, engaging our brothers all over the continent. We're blessed that our SG of the ANC Youth League is a deputy president of Africa region of WOOFT. Let's clap hands for that. We'll use that platform, working together with our brothers all over the continent, to make sure that export quotas are introduced everywhere. We're saying as the Youth League, not more than 70% of platinum, lithium, copper, and many critical minerals must be exported anywhere. These minerals must remain here and be beneficiated here to industrialize our economies, all over Africa and the continent, to create employment for the youth, to create business opportunities for the youth. We can't die of poverty while people who have no minerals enjoy the benefits of our minerals. If it means we must lose our allies China for that, let it be. Anyone who wants to set up a factory must come and set up a factory here in South Africa, because the minerals belong here. We are saying as the Youth League, from soil to factory, not from soil to sea. From soil to factory, not from soil to sea. It's a battle we are prepared to fight for, because that is the only solution that can resolve the problems we're facing of high unemployment and the dispositions of our people. We're saying SG, the structure of the economy must be changed. We can no longer slogan about it, we must be deliberate. Afrikaners that owned a lot of industry in this country were deliberately funded by their own government. No one said it's corruption. When the government is supposed to deliberately change the structure of the economy to benefit the majority of the people of the country, which are black in majority, people have fear because they are told that blacks must be workers while Afrikaners own industries. The money of the PIC must not be used to build malls. We have enough malls. The money of the PIC must be used to fund black-owned businesses, mainly owned by youth and women, to industrialize our own economy. Because who's going to buy from these malls if you don't have money? Ay khonahale. Re ka se kgone. The state of performance and service delivery. Our municipalities are failing our people. Our municipalities, the AG report is exposing how majority of those who have deployed, they are failing to provide services to our people. All they do is to fight for tenders and forget to provide services for our people. Mayors and managers, every day they drive through potholes. Every day they drive through streets where there is no water, without shame. Some of them, they've went as far as doing boreholes in their own houses and putting solar panels so that their kids are safe and they're fine, while majority of the people that they represent have no access to water, some of them have no access to electricity. We're saying we must follow the route of China. If you can provide or attract development and investment in your own town where you're a mayor, you don't deserve to be a mayor. Because your job as a mayor is not to get paid, it's to develop the area that you are in. Now all those mayors who are not performing, who must not think twice, the ANC must immediately fire them and replace them with young people who want to work. Gender-based violence. Comrades, we must take this fight serious. It can't be business as usual when our sisters and kids are killed and raped every day. When women live in fear of their brothers, their uncles, and their neighbors when we are carrying government. Our justice system must be strengthened. We can't have rapists who are proven to be rapists still running around with their penises. We must urgently call for the cutting of rapist penises. What kind of a penis that rapes a 4-year-old? What do you see from a 4-year-old? Eh? What kind of a penis that can negotiate and convince a woman? And they give you voluntarily, you enjoy and even ask for more. We can have such lazy people moving around with penises. Now immediately I found guilty of rape. Ruisha Tapolo, Rekaulan Toto. Comrades, another matter is the rise of teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy is rising and the Youth League must be worried. We need to develop programs to deal with this issue of teenage pregnancy. The reason we have subcommittees and we are saying that we want working branches and regions, it is because every member of the Youth League and activist, when there's a social problem in their communities, they must be the first to respond to resolve that problem. You can't be a Youth League that every time they see you is when you're looking for tenders or deployment. You must be a Youth League that resolves socio-economic problems in our communities. It can't be that under our leadership there is a rise of teenage pregnancy and the Youth League has no programs to address that issue. It's urgent. SG will not enter on the international balance of forces. But it looks like the global south, after these tariffs, we need commercial. I don't know how we're going to do it because majority of our partners in the BRICS, most of them take raw materials from our country. Then those that are not progressive, comrades, they beneficiate here. There's a lot of American companies here who are operating here in South Africa, beneficiating here, while our friends take raw materials to build their own economies. Now, Comrade Andy Lungisa, we need to have an engagement with our BRICS partners that Africa, it is not a place where you take and go. It's an area of business and investment. And I felt that Comrade SG, I must explain this matter of what does tariffs mean? Because it's something that, comrades, we don't speak about more. And I try to find the simplest way, comrade, to explain to an ordinary 14-year-old. Because all of us, we always speak big English and confuse our people. Now, when a country has put a tariff on your products, it says that when in the USA, they sell this bottle called the USA bottle. And you also have the same bottle of water called from South African bottle. The tariffs increase the price of the South African bottle. It's not able to compete with the one of the USA in the market because yours is forced to be expensive. Now, it means there's an increase of 15% on the bottle of South Africa, while the one of the USA remain the same. Now, in summary, Trump is not stupid. He's protecting his industrial program of the USA, which is busy with. He's protecting products of the USA against exported products, so that he's able to create industries for his people and employment, while Those products are going to be bought because people of the USA will be able to afford the ones that are there against the ones that are exported. Now, anyone who's saying Trump is stupid is misanalyzing him. He's a visionary. He's a visionary. He's protecting his products and his economy against external products. Now, think about it that way. Because it means the products that we're exporting, if they have the same product on the shelves in the USA, yours can compete. And when they stop buying yours, it will not make business sense anymore to export that product because it will not have a market in the USA. I try to simplify it, Comrade Sikhi. I hope that they've understood it. Comrades, the renewal of the ANC is urgent. And the SG of the ANC came here and said, we are a good example of what the renewal of the ANC must look like. We convened 8 provincial conferences. None of them were disrupted or there were chairs flying. 8. We convened over 40 regional conferences. None of them were chairs were flying or people killing each other or others showing their bums. There was one conference in Mangaung where people were showing their bums in conferences of the Youth League. Comrade Sikhi Zigalal. The NGC was all over the media that were coming in the NGC to fight each other. We are here today, very peaceful. We are running a very tight ship. When we took office, me and the SG, we said that we are going to clean this thing up. Many of those who are disciplined, who are used to coming to Youth League through gossips and through other ways, all they do now is to make noise on Facebook, but they're dispositioned from the NC Youth League. Only the best are here. Le money Betwell apologize again. Because I told Betwell that if you don't apologize, when I close this conference, on Monday I'll be appointing a task team in Mpumalanga. Because there is no one who's going to misbehave in the ANC Youth League. I always tell the SG that what we must do as the leadership is to make and be decisive and take decisions. Then the next generations will judge us whether our decisions were right or wrong. But the biggest mistake we must not do is not to be decisive. Those that led with me from COSAS and the Youth League, they know. We make decisions and history will judge us on our decisions. A weak leader is a leader that takes no decision. On the issue of the SNCP, I'll leave it to you, no bala. Because I don't understand why the SNCP wants to leave us now. I always make this example, coming of Zimbabwe, that the SNCP is that abusive girlfriend or boyfriend that when you are unemployed, leaves you. When you are employed, loves you. When we had 70%, 2/3, they used to love us. Now that the bread is small at 40%, they are leaving us. The SNCP is a very disloyal partner. When we come back in the next elections, they'll be back here with us, loving us. I don't know what they're contesting for. Are they contesting for the National Democratic Revolution or they're contesting for socialism? Maybe they must explain that to us. Because at this current point, the National Democratic Revolution is under siege. It needs all its allies to unite and push back counter-revolution. We can't push back counter-revolution when we are divided. That's why as a youth league, Comrade SG, we must encourage the ANC to continuously engage the SACP not to leave. It's irresponsible for the SACP to leave when the movement and the people's power is under attack. We're saying the SACP must not work with counter-revolution to liquidate the people's vehicle, which is the African National Congress, because it's the only vehicle that can lead us to a national democratic society. Comrade SG, these are the demands. We demand SG. We demand one people's bank. We are calling for the merger of Post Bank and African Bank into a single, powerful state-owned bank. We are calling for a merger of Post Bank and African Bank into a single, state-owned bank for the interest of our people. Because FNB and other commercial banks that are owned by counter-revolution, that funds the DA, funds any anti-progress policies, don't give loans to black people. They don't give funding to black people. They don't support black businesses. But we believe that a state-owned bank under the people's government will be utilized to change the lives of our people. We demand quality education. We demand quality free education. We demand the full implementation of NHI. We demand the full implementation of the Bella Act. We demand the banning of illegal foreigners and foreigners in the owning of smaller businesses. Whether it's take shop, it's salons, it's partner shops, it must set aside for locals. We demand that not more than 70% of our raw material must leave this country. Comrades, make no mistake, we demand land. We demand that the land must be taken into the hands of our people. We demand the reskilling of our people to respond to the economic demands of their own country. We demand an overfunding of TVET colleges to reskill our people to respond to their own economic demands of their own country. We demand economic corridors. We demand economic corridors. Every province must have an economic activity that responds to the economic demands, and the youth of that area must be skilled to respond to the economic demands of their own provinces. We demand that all sanctions must be removed from Zimbabwe and all progressive countries around us. We are saying the countries that have put sanctions on Zimbabwe, they must put sanctions on the whole of Africa. Because when our brothers and sisters of Zimbabwe suffer, we will also suffer because they are our neighbors. We demand the full unlocking of the economy of all African countries. We demand a clear partnership between Namibia and South Africa on the gas and oil program. We demand that Mswati steps down in Swaziland and allow democracy for the people of Swaziland to be in. This struggle will be hard. The objective conditions are stacked against us. The entrenched interest will resist every attempt to change the status quo. The entrenched interest, Comrade Ande Lungisa, will resist every attempt to change the status quo. Now, making these demands, aware that counter-revolution will not agree that the status quo must change to benefit the people in the continent. They will fight with everything they have to slave Africa and make Africa their slave country and continue to exploit our minerals at the expense of the African people and the children of Africa. Now, we choose this battle knowing that it will be a fight that we are ready to die for. That's why I was saying economic freedom or death. If you can't give us economic freedom, you would rather kill us, because we're going to fight until the total liberation of our people is delivered. We will mobilize the masses of our people. We will close the streets. We will remove, if there are those in the ANC who partner with counter-revolution to oppress our people, we will work on a project to remove them. Because the ANC is the only parliament of the people. The ANC is the only organization that can implement the Freedom Charter. The ANC is the only organization with policies that can liberate our people and take them to Canaan land, to a national democratic society. Now, anyone who redirects the ANC to a direction that the ANC is not going to, we must declare them the enemy of the ANC Youth League. The ANC has raised it. Those that want to sell state-owned entities, we must declare them enemy of the revolution. Because state-owned entities are vehicles for development, and development only whose interest in the interest of our people. When you put state-owned entities into private hands, you are saying that those in business, their main interest, it is not to service the people, but it's to maximize profit. Now you're taking the lives of your people, you are putting in no caring hands, but you are saying you are a caring government. Anyone who sells state-owned entities, we must declare them the enemy of the ANC Youth League. Now, SG, it's very important that I thank again this conference. I thank you, comrades, for your level of discipline. I know very well that it was not easy waking up in the morning every day to catch a bus and move a long distance to come to the NGC. Even if sometimes we took long struggling to get into the hall, but ultimately when you got into the hall, you showed high level of discipline. You sang unifying songs. You engaged. You spoke to each other. There were no chairs that are flying. You showed that you are the real vanguards of our people. The moment we are in now is the same moment Nelson Mandela, Anton Lembete, Oliver Tambo, and many others were at when the ANC was at its weakest. It's a moment for us to take over the ANC and direct it and revive it and take it back to the people. Don't see it only as a disadvantage. See it also as an opportunity for you to infuse new ideas into the African National Congress. We are not going to the NGC of the ANC in December with our jackets only. We are going to that NGC with the mandate we got from this NGC. Now, comrades, it was not an easy journey. It's important to also thank the Youth League in the Northern Cape and its ANC for when we were crying and say that we are a poor youth league, but we've got good ideas. Give us a platform to showcase. They said, come to the Northern Cape, we'll take care of you. And I can confirm that we're taken care of. The ANC leadership here was hands-on in this NGC. Now we have allies that will mobilize towards the NGC so that the biggest achievement, SG, is that if the resolutions of the ANC clique are not adopted at the ANC NGC, it means that we failed in one of our twin tasks to be a body of opinion on the ANC and influence the body politics of the African National Congress. And if we succeed, then, we can say, now that we've succeeded, our resolutions of the Youth League are now a program of action of the ANC that will say that who must lead this revolution. Because the first thing we're going to do, we're going to give the ANC a program of action. When we're done, later on, amongst peers, we'll identify those we trust to lead us to implement the full implementation of the resolution of the Youth League. Because, comrades, you can't elect people who don't believe in the resolutions and expect them to implement the resolutions. We're saying this local government, we're coming for everything. Poll to poll, mayor to mayor, CO to CO, manager to manager. We're no longer delegating the responsibility of the people of South Africa to pensioners. We're going there ourselves. We're taking responsibility of our own future. Now, when you live here, you must go to your communities, to your corners, and tell them that the Youth League has got the right people for you to resolve the problem. You must contest with ward councillors everywhere and take responsibility. Don't go there and be spokespersons of your bishops at the expense of the youth. Because there's a new team now where there are people who call themselves bishops who think that they can micromanage the Youth League. The Youth League does not belong to bishops. It belongs to members of the ANC Youth League. It belongs to the youth of this country. Now when you live here, you must tell them that you only have one bishop. Your bishop is Collen Malatji, and he's the only one who's going to tell you what to do. They must unchain you. They must not take advantage of your poverty and chain you down and use you as child soldiers for their own selfish, corrupt interests. Comrades, tomorrow we must be on time. I've got very good news. I'm just from a call with the president of the country. He has confirmed that tomorrow he'll attend our anniversary celebration. Now, that thing that you do at night that makes you to be late, try to minimize it, so that you are here on time. Because, comrades, the president, we can't tell the president that we want to be in charge of all corridors of power, but we display ill discipline. We must present ourselves tomorrow as the youth that is prepared to take this country forward. You heard the president in his speech here. He said it, that he believes that we are the right youth that can take the country forward. Now tomorrow we must confirm, because we want more lights, comrades, parliamenting. We have MPs here who are young, who listen to the youth league. We want more of them to have more lights so that those lights can be utilized to change the lives of our people. But you can't demand lights when you are ill-disciplined. Now, provincial secretaries and chairs, I know then Gauteng, the regional chairs and secretaries that think that they've arrived. In the middle of an NGC, they are all over guest houses thinking that they're in a holiday. Comrade Ntsako, I'm giving you an instruction, attend to them. Comrades, we are not going to tolerate ill-discipline. Tomorrow at 11, if you are a chair or a secretary of a province or a region, your delegates are not in here at 11, the SG must receive resignation letters. If by 11, your delegates are not here, the SG must receive resignation letters. We will have two choices. Is either you do it voluntarily or we'll have to force it. But ultimately, it must happen. Because you can't bring people here who you can't direct. Now, comrades, the president of the country will be here. It will be a serious party afterwards. Here, these tables will be moved around. We'll have all the best artists. Prepare your best moves tomorrow. If you can dance like me, be ready. Tomorrow, we are celebrating the 81st anniversary of the Youth League. And because you have worked very hard, comrades, you must work hard and play hard. Tomorrow, after the president's address, we'll be playing very hard. Now, comrades, thank you very much. The NGC is officially closed.